Breaking this morning, Wisconsin Republicans say they have reached a deal on the upcoming state budget, how the inclusions could affect you.
Plus, the U.S. Senate pulling an all-nighter vote on the president's sweeping spending and immigration bill, the current Republican holdouts.
And getting out and about with the family for the 4th of July, how your kids could have some extra fun. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now This Morning on your Tuesday. I'm Kyrie Lee.
And I'm Chris Stanford. Thanks for joining us.
As we were mentioning, we are following some breaking news this morning. State legislative Republicans have struck a deal with Governor Tony Evers on the biennial budget.
Now, the Republican leadership says that this budget is going to deliver tax cuts that save taxpayers nearly $1.5 billion. The deal also includes major investments in child care, promising parents more options than ever before. Plus, the budget includes a historic $500 million boost to special education, which Republicans say is the largest in state history. Now, today, the remaining budget items will go to the Joint Finance Committee for a vote before moving on to the Assembly and Senate. We have not yet heard from Governor Evers on this budget agreement, and as soon as we do, we'll, of course, let you know about it.
And in a statement from Senate Majority Leader Devin LeMahieu and Senate Joint Finance Chair Howard Markline, they say this compromise will provide meaningful tax relief for retirees and the middle class, stabilize the child care system without making pandemic-era subsidies permanent, and strengthen our schools by reimbursing special education at a higher rate.
Meanwhile, Senate Minority Leader Dianne Hesselbein said, through negotiations, compromise, and spirited discussions, we now have an agreement in that, while not perfect and not the budget Democrats will craft while in the majority, address priorities Wisconsinites have clearly expressed: fund our public schools, make child care more affordable, and invest in the UW system. You
can get the latest updates on this story sent straight to your phone with the Channel 3000 News app. With the app, you'll receive breaking news push alerts as soon as they happen. It's free to download. Just search Channel 3000 in your phone's app store.
All right, let's check in on your first warn forecast. Savannah's outside live our studios here in Madison. We have some rain chances in the forecast and a lot of fireworks concerts on the square. It's just a busy week. So what do we need to know today?
Yeah, it is a busy week ahead with the 4th and concerts on the square. Tomorrow should be good. We are tracking a few isolated chances for showers. I think the best chance ultimately Thursday, and then again as we get closer to the weekend, Saturday. Nice stretch of weather ahead though. Today will be mostly sunny and pretty mild. Temperatures are where they should be, at least later in the afternoon and also this morning. Lower to mid 60s. It's comfortable. Our dew points are not going to be a huge factor in comparison to how the last several days were. We'll see the 80s though, lower to mid 80s today, and then a warmer stretch with more showers to talk about. We'll include the 4th of July rain chances and time all that out coming up.
We'll talk to you then, Savannah. Thank you. We are keeping our eye on the U.S. Senate floor in Washington this morning, where they have been debating and going through some amendments to President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, the sweeping budget and immigration plan. Taking a live look where they don't look like they're going to be taking a vote anytime soon on the bill itself.
That's right, but Vice President J.D. Vance has just arrived. We're ready to break a tie vote if needed. Meanwhile, Senate Majority Leader John Thune spent the night working on last-minute deals with Republicans about Medicaid cuts. Democrats are fighting to delay the bill, recently dropping dozens of amendments overnight. With Republicans only able to lose 3 votes and some still undecided, it's uncertain if this bill will pass. So Senator Tom Tillis says he's a no, warning that the bill could strip coverage from qualified Medicaid recipients. Senator Rand Paul drops out, concerned about adding trillions to the deficit. Senator John Curtis opposes the bill's new taxes on solar and wind energy. And Senators Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins remain undecided after breaking with their party on Medicaid amendments. If the bill passes, it will return to the House, where its future remains uncertain.
Well, there are several key deadlines coming up this summer that could shake up the U.S. economy. The first, July 9th. That's when the president's 90-day pause ends for reciprocal tariffs on dozens of countries. There's also the so-called X date, when the government could default on its debt obligations. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent thinks that will be sometime in August. He says that as a result, lawmakers should raise the debt ceiling before Congress's one-month recess starts on August 4th.
Canada is withdrawing its digital services tax on online companies to restart trade negotiations with the U.S. This comes after President Trump called the tax of a direct and blatant attack on our country and halted trade talks on Friday. On Sunday night, the Canadian government announced it was rescinding the tax. Their statement said Canadian Prime Minister and President Trump agreed to resume negotiations with the goal to strike a deal by July 21st. And this morning, the Wisconsin State Patrol continues to investigate a deadly crash in Janesville. The investigation focuses on a collision between a garbage truck and a cyclist yesterday morning near the intersection of Milton Avenue and Memorial Drive near St. Matthew's Lutheran Church. The cyclist died from injuries in the crash. The garbage truck driver remained at the scene and is cooperating with authorities. Officials will provide updates as more information becomes available.
Meantime, Madison police are investigating a deadly crash on the Beltline. This happened Friday. You may remember the westbound lanes were closed for about an hour. Motorcyclist was taken to the hospital where they later died. And in Milwaukee, hazmat crews at the scene last night of a train derailment northwest of the city. Take a look at this. 19 cars went off the tracks in Hartford yesterday morning. Then several gallons of diesel fuel spilled out. The derailment happened at an area that has a split in the tracks. First responders say at least 3 people received minor injuries.
Also in Milwaukee, authorities have now declared a crime scene after a fiery crash on a state highway over the weekend. It's a fiery crash that could have ended much differently if a group of strangers hadn't stopped to help. Marcus Grant, who was driving home in the early morning hours, came across the horrifying scene. Grant and a small group, including an EMT and a paramedic who just happened to be there, rushed to assist when they saw 2 wrecked vehicles, one already smoking with no emergency crews in sight.
See in the middle of the road this mushed little car. It was just all mushed up from an accident. So then I saw like 4 or so people on the passenger side trying to frantically pull this guy out. So I immediately got out of the car. I knew it was fresh. It was like I got there within seconds.
Grant is sharing his story for 2 reasons, he says: to acknowledge the heroes that night and to urge drivers to slow down.
In health news this morning, as you plan for the upcoming 4th of July holiday stuff, medical experts are warning of a new COVID variant.
The variant called NB181 or Nimbus now accounts for over 40% of COVID cases, according to the latest CDC data. Doctors say the key symptom is an intense razor blade sore throat.
It is really intense and it can last for a couple of days. And it's even as bad as like when you're just swallowing your saliva, just normal swallowing. It doesn't have to be with food or liquids or anything, just super intense pain.
To help slow the spread, doctors urge you to stay at home if you're showing symptoms. If you need to be out, they ask that you wear a mask and keep washing your hands regularly. Researchers say police officers rely on flawed methods to test for marijuana impairment while driving. An editorial in the Journal of Studies on Alcohol and Drugs points out that while alcohol testing is scientifically based, law enforcement uses less reliable methods for marijuana. These include checking physical coordination, observing eye movements, and even squeezing a driver's arms to check muscle tone.
Hey, you have the chance to vote on a Wisconsin State Patrol car for America's best looking cruiser. Take a look at this. This is Wisconsin's entry. It's a State Patrol car parked outside of the SS Badger Ferry, the last operating coal-fired steamship in the country. Polls are open right now through July 11th next week. The top 13 cruisers are going to be featured in the American Association of State Troopers 2026 wall calendar, with the winner taking pride on the cover. You can visit statetroopers.org to cast your vote.
Starting today, Edgewood College officially becomes Edgewood University. Although it's a name change, Edgewood has been a university since 1986 when it first offered master's degrees in education, religious studies, and business administration. Today at 10 a.m., the university will celebrate by raising the new flag outside Prindlin Hall.
Well, this month, kids in Madison can enjoy more outdoor activities at their city parks.
That's because Madison School and Community Recreation and Madison Parks are teaming up for National Park and Recreation Month. This year's theme is Build Together, Play Together. There will be several events all month long. Be sure to check out the full schedule at Madison Parks Events and MSCR Events online.
I think the city's got some pretty neat parks.
Yes.
Got some real gems around town.
They really do. And we like to go to different parks with the girls because there's always something different, something new you can explore, whether that's trails or the playground equipment. just something for everyone.
And kids are the best judge. Don't get me wrong. They know what's up.
Yes.
You take them to a new park and you see the look in their eye and they go,
Yeah.
Or they just light up when they see it and they're like, this one's fun.
Yeah, my
So-
4-year-old, she's like that. She'll like tell me like the certain colors of the parks. Like she doesn't know the names of the parks, but she'll be like,
Can we go
need
to that
to the
green
red
one?
park. Yeah,
Red
yep, the
park?
green one. Yep,
Yeah.
she's a fan of the green park that we go
sounds
to.
spot on.
Actually.
It'll be a good day to get out to the park because we'll see lots of sunshine and comfortable temperatures. Even this morning, dare I say it, cool, comfortable.
Cool.
I don't know. We're waking up into the 60s, a couple of us in the 50s. We'll talk about how long the stretch of nice weather will stick around.
Also ahead in your morning sports, the Bucks making some moves in free agency, who they re-signed and who is leaving.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Yeah, heads up if you live in the city of Madison, trash collection will be paused this Friday for the 4th of July.
The City of Madison Streets Division will not be picking up recycling, brush, trash, or large item collections this Friday. So if you normally have trash and recycling collected on Fridays, you should have your cards out for pickup by 6:30 a.m. on Monday. If you miss that time, you will need to wait until the next scheduled pickup day. The Streets Division drop-off sites will also be closed on Friday, but will reopen during their regular posted hours on Saturday. So be sure to check to see what your city, village, or town is doing.
There you go. Yeah, the 4th of July, a great chance to get together with family and enjoy fireworks. But of course, it's important to make sure that you're doing it safely. UWL says it's important because fireworks are explosives and they want you to treat them with respect. You should also make sure that fireworks are lit in open areas away from anyone that could be injured or anything that could catch on fire.
You can get yourself down to the Duck Pond at the end of this week for 2 4th of July shows. There will be one both Thursday and Friday after the Mallards and Nightmares games. Everyone will be able to come on the field, but you will need a ticket. If you don't have one, you can still watch from Warner Park. Then on July 5th, the Mallards are rebranding to the Madison Neverminds. It's in honor of the Nirvana album produced at Smart Studios in Madison some 35 years ago.
We have some cool jerseys. We have a jersey auction going on as well with the benefits of that jersey or the proceeds of that jersey going to Tellurian. Some really fun music and really cool activations that'll be happening here. We have some really great merch as well.
You can buy tickets for all of the events online at the northwoodsleague.com. And be sure to stay tuned next week because I'll be throwing the first pitch at Friday's Mallards game. It's our time for kids night, so make sure you're there. We'll have all those details over the next few days. But yeah, I'm just getting ready.
Have you been practicing?
I have not.
Okay, be honest. When was the last time you threw a baseball?
Like an
Like
actual
full speed?
baseball?
Yeah,
Like
like a hard ball.
Okay. I said a kid, like maybe 5, but I'll say high school maybe.
High school?
Yeah, because that was like one of the, probably one of the lessons that we did. So that's been at least 10 years ago. So yeah, there we go.
Okay.
It could be a little rough out here.
It's high. The stakes are high. You don't want to bounce it.
The key is confidence, right?
Confidence is key, and I think people will get something out of it either way it goes, whether that's bouncing it or right into the glove. But I'm right.
You'll do great.
I
I
think
want to
I'll
hear
do
that
great.
pop of the catcher's mitt when they catch it.
Maybe if I stand real close. Maybe I won't stand where they stand, but closer. Yes. All
Well,
right,
guys,
Savannah.
hopefully we're hoping for comfortable weather out there for that next Friday. This Friday for 4th of July, we are expecting a couple of showers. Today's July 1st, June 2025. We've actually had 5 90-degree days last month compared to only 8 all of last year. So we're already starting off the summer hotter. 78.6. Our average is actually a little bit cooler despite those 590s we had. 5.5, just over 5.5 inches of rain. So precipitation fell a little bit warmer than normal. That stretch June 21st through the 23rd, we had lower 90s and then a 90-degree mark again on the 26th and the 29th of last month, bringing us up to 5. There's no 90s in the forecast today. The 4th of July, that's when that could return. 63 right now. We're waking up with a lot of sunshine. I expect that to stick around all day long. Your sunset later, 8 8:41 p.m. And lower dew points today. It's not necessarily going to stick around that long, though. We're not going to see any showers, even though some could still use that south of Madison. A little bit of cloud cover, but like I said, I think most of us stay the majority of sunshine compared to cloud cover all day long, and then we'll be mostly clear tonight with lows once again dropping into the 60s. Most of us lower to mid 60s. That's what we'll start tomorrow off, and then rise into the mid to even upper 80s tomorrow. There will be a chance for showers returning. That'll be Wednesday evening, mostly northeast of Madison. Can't rule a couple of those out. I think the best chance ultimately towards Milwaukee, and more specifically up in the Green Bay, Door County area and Sheboygan. That's also when dew points are going to slowly start to rise. It'll be a little humid. That humidity not as big of a factor compared to what we have been sitting with, though, the last several days. That'll be a change then Friday for the 4th, heading into the weekend. That's when dew points get back up to humid, that humid category. At least going to be pushing about 70 or so degrees. So we've got that shower chance, a slight chance Wednesday, mostly dry. Thursday would be our next chance. The best chance, though, will be Friday night into Saturday with another cold front that'll move in. I think most of the 4th of July will be okay. Can't rule out a couple of slight chances for showers and storms, but the best chance will be on Saturday with dry conditions returning for Sunday with lots of sunshine. So I do think the second half of this upcoming weekend will be the better half.
As of 5 p.m. last night, NBA free agency was off and running, and all the talking heads have been saying Milwaukee needs to make some moves to keep Giannis happy and in the Cream City. Well, so far, they've made a couple. The Bucks have re-signed Kevin Porter Jr. and Gary Trent Jr., both to 2-year deals, along with Taurean Prince. And after 7 years with the Deer, Brook Lopez, well, he's heading to L.A. to join the Clippers on a 2-year, $18 million deal. Other free agency news, fresh off a EuroLeague championship and finals MVP, Nigel Hayes-Davis is signing a 1-year deal, fully guaranteed contract with the Suns. The former Badger returns to the NBA after 7 years overseas. Well, it's been a whirlwind of a week for John Tonje. Thursday, Utah drafted him 53rd overall. Then a couple days later, he was out in Salt Lake City and officially introduced as a new member of the Jazz. His journey to the NBA wasn't easy, but he made his mark in Madison, posting one of the best single seasons in school history. And just like he said when he became a Badger, well, Tonje is focused on getting better each day.
I think I had a lot of adversity and just had to work my way up. Is what I've been, the last guy on the bench, and then also they got the top of the scouting report. So I think I'm someone that can understand all types of roles on a team, and I understand how to, just face adversity and just keep trying to get better each day.
And that's it for Morning Sports. Have a great day.
You too, Zach. Hey, coming up, a lottery letdown, the mistake that crushed the dreams of thousands who thought they won big.
And coming up in our next half hour, the second concert's on the Square. Everything you need to know ahead of tomorrow's performance.
And before we head to break, here are your gas prices. We're back right after this.
Welcome back. This photo is from Gwen. She says, "In all things, see beauty." I think it's a good, this is a good line to, see. Whether
Good
that's
quote.
people, places, things.
Yeah, everything
see the beauty
has
in
beauty
everything.
in it. Yep.
Yes.
Very nice. Appreciate that, Gwen. Trending this morning, a wild race in Washington as athletes compete here. Sunday, over 300 people competed in T-Rex costume races. And off they go. This is,
I love this.
This is goofy.
I want to do this.
I would do this.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
The competition was fierce in both the men's and women's finals, with racers sprinting to victory by a snout. And then check this out. Parachuting T-Rex has also made a grand descent from 5,000 feet. The wild event took place at Emerald Downs in Auburn, known as a famous horse racing track, but they're doing dinosaurs. Catch the full races on ESPN2 later this summer.
They landed on their feet, too. That's impressive.
Wait, they're actually...
Yeah, they land and then sprint towards the finish line.
Nice.
Wait, they're doing this on ESPN? Okay.
The deuce.
Okay. Well, wow. I wouldn't do the parachuting,
No.
but I would just do the running
Regular
on the track.
race.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
Me too.
That looks like fun.
It does.
So imagine thinking that you're a millionaire only to find out it's a mistake. That's exactly what happened to a lot of Norwegians who got notified of a huge Euro jackpot win. Norway's Norsk Tipping says a conversion error made the prizes seem a lot bigger. The CEO is in hot water, as you can imagine. They resigned after the mix-up. The error happened when prize amounts were multiplied instead of divided during currency conversion from euros to Norwegian kroners.
Mathematical error. Come on.
Customer is always right. I feel like they need to honor what they sent out.
It's easy to say when it's not your money.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And I'm not over there.
You got tons of people mad.
Yes, no, I would be very
How do you
upset.
screw that up?
And like, how long did it take them to notice the error? Because some people probably like quit their jobs, like forget
Right.
this. Yeah. So
Yeah, thinking they got a lot more money than they do have.
Yeah.
I did.
Yikes.
Yeah, well, we're
Yikes.
tracking some sunshine, some good news in the weather department for today. Some of tomorrow, I think the better chance for showers will be northeast of Madison. For most of us on Thursday, that'll increase into Saturday. That is our next better chance ahead of a cold front. Overall, the 4th not looking too bad, but it is going to be warm.
All right. Stick around. More News 3 Now this morning, right after this. Breaking this morning, an agreement on the state budget. What's inside?
Plus, proposed changes to mail for Dane County inmates sparking debate.
And 4th of July around the corner, where you can start celebrating as soon as tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in on a busy Tuesday. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Kyrie Lee. Thanks for waking up with us this morning.
Start with that breaking news. Legislative Republicans have announced they have reached a deal with the governor on a budget. The Republican legislature leaders say that the budget will include tax cuts that save almost $1.5 billion.
The deal also includes major investments in child care, promising parents more options than ever before. Plus, the budget includes a historic $500 million boost to special education, the largest in state history. Today, the remaining budget items go to the Joint Finance Committee for a vote before moving to the Assembly and Senate. And we have new reactions right now from Governor Tony Evers. He says in part, quote, "I declared 2025 the year of the kid in Wisconsin, which is why I have spent the last several months working with Republican leaders to ensure we have a pro-kid budget that invests in our kids at every age and every stage, from early childhood to K through 12 schools to our higher education institutions." And in a statement, Senate Majority Leader Devin LeMahieu and Senate Joint Finance Chair Howard Markline say this compromise will provide meaningful tax relief for retirees and the middle class, stabilize the child care system without making pandemic-era subsidies permanent, and strengthen our schools by reimbursing special education at a higher rate.
Meanwhile, Senate Minority Leader Dianne Hesselbein said, through tough negotiations, compromise, and spirited discussion, we now have an agreement that, while not perfect, and not the budget that Democrats will craft while in the majority, address priorities Wisconsinites have clearly expressed. Fund our public schools, make child care more affordable, and invest in the UW system. We'll send you the latest updates on the state budget with our Channel 3000 mobile app. With that app, you'll receive breaking news push alerts as soon as they happen. It's free to download. Just search Channel 3000 in your phone's app store.
Well, let's check in now with meteorologist Savannah Brito, who's standing out on our patio outside our studio here in Madison. Feeling real comfortable out there this morning, Savannah.
It is definitely comfortable. We've got the lower 60s, a couple of spots in the mid 60s across Dane County. We're at 63 though in Madison, and that's where most of southern Wisconsin sits. Wisconsin Dells did fall into the 50s. Black River Falls is one of the only areas that's still in the upper 50s right now. Breezy conditions will be in place across most of southern Wisconsin. Winds will only be up to about 10 to 15 miles per hour, slightly less strong than what we had yesterday, and then those winds are going to increase again as we head closer to the weekend time frame with the next cold front. That'll be our next best chance for showers returning to everyone across southern Wisconsin. Lots of sunshine overall, really nice day ahead. We're going to look at the lower 80s, but then a hot stretch coming forward. Again, we'll have those details coming up.
All right, Savannah, thank you so much.
Taking a live look at the Senate floor this morning in Washington. Lawmakers there are getting closer to vote on the president's sweeping budget plan. Democrats are trying to delay it. They're proposing a lot of amendments overnight, which has kind of tied things up. They're at almost 24 hours now since they began their voting session. This morning, Vice President J.D. Vance is on the Senate floor now to cast a tie-breaking vote if needed. It is still uncertain if this bill is going to pass. Republicans can spare 3 votes. Some are on the fence. If it does pass, it still needs to head back to the House, where it faces an uncertain fate there. So lawmakers are running out of time to reach the president's July 4th deadline. Meantime, Senator Thom Tillis says he's a no. He is warning the bill could strip coverage from qualified Medicaid recipients. Senators Rand Paul is also out, saying that he's worried about adding trillions of dollars to the deficit. Senator John Curtis opposes newly added taxes on wind and solar energy. It's also unclear how Senators Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins will vote, since they broke with their party on Medicaid amendments.
Dane County is considering ending physical mail for inmates at the county jail. Officials are discussing a new policy to scan all inmate mail, letting inmates read letters on tablets instead. The sheriff's office says they handle about 16,000 pieces of mail each year, and since 2022, at least one contained drugs like fentanyl, though that number could be higher. The county is set to sign a new inmate communication agreement that may include this mail scanning component, but leaders haven't decided what the best choice is.
Humanity that's taken away and lost. When you get a piece of mail and it's digitized, that just doesn't feel the same.
We understand how important physical mail is for the rehabilitation process of those that are incarcerated. We want to make sure that each individual that receives a letter is alive.
Sheriff Calvin Barrett says having a third-party open mail keeps Dane County staff safer. When asked about the cost of mail scanning, the sheriff's office did not have an answer. The county will vote on the proposal at its July 22nd meeting.
In national news this morning, President Donald Trump plans to visit a new immigration detention center in Florida today, known as Alligator Alcatraz. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, and Republican Representative Brian Donalds will all join him. DeSantis says the facility located at the Dane Collier County Dade Collier Training and Transportation Airport in the Florida Everglades was transformed into a detention center within days.
And we're learning more about an ambush in Idaho that led to the death of 2 firefighters. Authorities are now identifying the suspect as 20-year-old Wes Rowley. The local sheriff's office says Rowley intentionally set a brush fire Sunday to lure the firefighters in, then opened fire. Officials say the suspect acted alone and shot himself.
Also in Idaho, Brian Kohberger, the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students, will be back in court tomorrow. An attorney for one of the victims' family says that he has agreed to a plea deal to avoid a trial in the quadruple murder case. 30-year-old Kohberger is charged with stabbing the students in their apartment in 2022, and a source now says that the plea deal involves Kohberger pleading guilty to 4 counts of murder in exchange for the government dropping the death penalty.
New details on the Morgan Wallen concerts at Camp Randall. The State Journal says UW-Madison officials are calling the 2 concerts the biggest in state history. Meanwhile, UW-PD says they ejected dozens of fans from the stadium. UW-PD says 4 people were arrested and cited on Saturday, while 20 more were ejected. On Sunday, police arrested 9 people and ejected 12. Police arrested one man twice and took him to jail after he tried to re-enter the stadium after his first arrest.
Police are looking for pride flags stolen from a local church. A church on University Avenue near the Chase and Art Museum reported its pride flags were taken down. Police believe it happened sometime between the middle of May and the beginning of June. So police are asking anyone with information about what happened to call them 608-255-2345, or you can submit an anonymous tip online at p3tips.com.
New this morning, people in Belleville and Marshall who need fresh food will soon have greater access. The River Food Pantry and new partners in rural Dane County launched a pilot project to expand food access. The food pantry aims to develop a 10-year plan to build a county-wide food network. With federal funding, the River Food Pantry delivers monthly food supplies to the Sugar River Senior Center and Belleville Food Pantry. They also serve the Early Learning Center and the Marshall School District. The River Food Pantry supplies food to Rise Wisconsin, a voluntary home visiting program, so their staff can share it with families during visits.
Tomorrow, the American Red Cross of Wisconsin is holding its 25th annual Madison Beach Days blood drive. So those with types O, A negative, and B negative are encouraged to make a Power Red donation. It's a concentrated dose of red blood cells during a single donation. Participants will receive a pair of Red Cross sunglasses and a Quick Trip ice cream coupon. So you can stop in and make an appointment. You can stop in or make an appointment to donate.
Happening today, American Warrior Initiative is honoring military veterans as part of a special ceremony. This morning at 11, 2 veterans will receive service dogs to support their healing and independence. The ceremony takes place at Fairway Mortgage on South Biltmore Lane in Madison. AWI is a nonprofit that serves military veterans and their families through partnerships, education, and donations.
The second Concerts on the Square is tomorrow night. Tomorrow's theme, perfect for the upcoming holiday. Celebrations of Liberty. So make sure you bring that blanket, chair, your food, your drink, and enjoy the music. There are food vendors on site. You can reserve a table too that'll cater right to your seat. And you can mark your spot on the Capitol lawn starting at 3 p.m. as usual. If you're driving, make sure you get there before 5. That's when the streets close. Music, of course, starts at 7.
And Independence Day is the holiday of backyard cookouts, barbecues, and block parties. But this 4th of July, you may have to skip out on the beef. Drought and rising.
Where's the beef?
Yeah, I do remember that. Well, drought and rising grain costs have shrunk herd sizes, cutting supply. Wells Fargo reports that costs for 4th of July gatherings have increased 2.2% year over year. So how can you maximize your budget this holiday? Well, economists are recommending swapping burgers for chicken. Buying in-season domestic produce like watermelon and strawberries, and considering a potluck-style gathering where guests bring some food or drinks.
Maybe 2 brats instead of 3.
Yeah, we just gotta cut back.
Hey, guess what? It's going to be a record travel 4th of July. So you're going to be sharing the road with a lot of people. AAA is estimating more than 72 million people will travel 50 miles or more this week, breaking records. They estimate that most people will be driving to their destination, with roughly 62 million people on the roads. It's always a record, every time, always setting records.
Definitely is. Well, there are plenty of fireworks shows to see in southern Wisconsin, with some starting as early as tomorrow. The festivities run from July 2nd through the 5th. Verona kicks off tomorrow night with a show at 9:30 p.m. at Hometown USA Community Park. Then you can catch fireworks in Madison on Thursday and Friday at 9:30 p.m. at Warner Park. And for a full list of shows, be sure to visit our website, channel3000.com. We will keep you updated on all things you need to know about other firework events in the area.
Fireworks shows are so late. It's always a late night.
Well, it has
this morning shift is brutal, you know? Like
at least
staying
it's a
up.
Friday this year,
at least it comes, the holiday falls on a Friday.
Yeah.
I sound like an old grump, but it's like
just a little bit.
I want to check him out. I want to see him. It's just like it's so darn late.
Yeah, I mean it has to be, like, otherwise, I mean, like, it doesn't get dark till
just
like
light them off in the morning.
8:30.
I know, that's the thing. You can't do it during the day. So I'm just like, whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
But things are shaping up pretty good for the holiday weekend overall.
Yeah, overall, I do think we'll have a couple of shower chances, but we'll definitely have dry time for the 4th, the better chance Saturday, and then a dry Sunday for your weekend. We'll time all that out coming up.
Well, check this out. Some dramatic video here. A rescue caught on camera on the Baraboo River. We'll have more of this daring rescue effort from first responders.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Hi, Savannah. This is Dad, and this is Dean. We live in Morrisonville. Will you plan our day?
To you both in Morrisonville. We'll see a lot of sunshine and a comfortable start to the morning. That will take us through the entire day. 63 with some sunshine right now. Maybe a chance for showers returning as early as tomorrow, but expect a lot of sun today. Temperatures will reach the lower to mid 80s, so a really pleasant day overall. That's ahead of more heat that we're tracking, leading us into the 4th of July holiday. 63 also in Madison, 63 in Janesville, 60 in Lone Rock. There were a couple areas that did briefly fall into the 50s, and that is possible again tonight. Most of us are actually going to reach the lower to mid 60s overnight into early tomorrow. Dew points, here's some good news. 59 in Lone Rock, 59 in Mineral Point. When they finally fall below 60, that's when it's comfortable. So a tad bit humid, as we are seeing some dew points mainly east and also south of Madison that are a little bit above that. We're at 60 in Madison, 61 in Janesville, and 63 in Waukesha. Overall, a big improvement from where we have been sitting getting the last several days. Dry today, lower 80s, a couple of mid 80s. Will be warmer than tomorrow after temperatures fall into the 60s again tonight. Might be possible that a couple wake up in the mid to upper 50s again. And then we've got winds that are going to be out of the west. Maybe a little bit of a factor today and tomorrow. I think a bigger factor, though, the 4th of July and this upcoming weekend. But yeah, we've got the mid to upper 80s that are going to return. And then those spotty shower chances northeast of Madison tomorrow. I think Thursday our better chance. The best chance will take us after the 4th of July into Saturday. It'll definitely be a hot day, 90 the forecast high for the 4th. And then in the evening for those fireworks shows, temperatures will cool down slightly, but it'll still be warm and very muggy outside for Friday night. I think there is a chance for showers, although the better chance is going to return Friday later in the night. And then more specifically, I think Saturday, that's when most of the heaviest rain and the best storm chance is going to hold off until. That'll be ahead of the cold front. So at least we've got a lot of dry time in there for the 4th as well. And I know it's going to be a warm one, but a lot of people are probably looking forward to that because, you know, you can get out on the lake. I'm going to a pool party. So it'll be nice weather to be out for that, hoping the water's not too warm because my uncle usually kicks up the heater, and I don't think that's going to be necessary with how the weather's been the last several weeks.
Won't need that, yeah.
Yeah.
No. Got some natural heated pool
exactly.
for you.
And the sunshine, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be a good weekend.
Yeah,
good
something
weekend.
to watch, though, those rain chances for some of these fireworks displays over the next few days.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday's looking good. So I don't know if there's any fireworks shows happening on as late as Sunday, but it'll be unproblematic.
I think most people are, getting it out the way between tomorrow and Saturday. So
Yeah.
I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be good. I think we'll be good. All right, Savannah, thank you.
Hey, had a nice plan your day this morning. We'd love to see more of those, so send them in our way, channel3000.com, through the app, Facebook Messenger, or email, and then make sure you're watching to see if your video will make it on the air.
Well, in just a few days, you and your family can go to Warner Park to watch the 4th of July fireworks show. On July 3rd and 4th, the Duck Pond will play host to 2 fireworks shows after the Mallards and Nightmares games. Everyone will be able to come on the field, but you will need a ticket. If you don't have one, you can still watch from Warner Park. Then on July 5th, the Mallards are rebranding to the Madison Neverminds in honor of the Nirvana album produced at Smart Studios in Madison some 35 years ago. You can buy tickets for all of the events online at thenorthwoodsleague.com.
Well, some incredible video here. A rescue unfolding on the Baraboo River. That's where a kayaker found herself stranded.
Thankfully, she made it safely to shore after first responders rushed to the scene. News 3 Now's Kyle Pozorski gives us a look of the rescue.
Harrowing video shared by the Baraboo Fire and EMS District shows a woman stranded in the Baraboo River. This after their kayak flipped over Saturday afternoon. As she clung to a log for safety, a first responder came to the rescue using a rope tethered to the shore for his safety. Assistant Chief Mark Willer explains what happened next.
He talked to her, explained to her what was going to happen. He got her off the log, he kind of bear hugged her, and they both floated downstream with that rope still tethered to that swimmer.
The first responder and kayaker then managed to get to shore safely. The woman was uninjured. Willer says it's not often they're called to this area of the river, and Saturday's efforts show how their annual training made the rescue go well.
It's not common for us to have to actually do that technique. We have trained for it in the past, and I have full confidence in our members to be able to do that again.
Willer continues that for those looking to recreate on the Baraboo River, or anywhere for that matter, to really keep safety in mind.
You always wear a PFD, wear a helmet if you're kayaking. There's a lot of rocks and boulders in the river that can really injure you. If you hit your head and go unconscious, you're not going to be able to keep yourself above water.
In Baraboo, Kopzorski, News 3 Now.
So glad that turned out on the positive side.
I know, a happy ending to that story, thanks to the bravery of those first responders who went out into the rushing water, and for that woman for holding on for dear life as long as she did. Goodness.
Keeping the strength. So yes, I'm just glad everything worked out for the greater good. All right, well, coming up in the morning sprint, why one fitness brand is suing Costco.
If you got a little kiddo turning 3 soon, you know what to do. Send us a picture, we'll show it on TV. Time for the morning sprint.
We're following some breaking news. The legislative Republicans have announced they have reached a deal with Governor Tony Evers on the state budget. The legislature says this budget will include tax cuts that save taxpayers almost $1.5 billion. They also say the plan includes increased investment in child care, plus the largest investment in special education in state history. The rest of the items will be voted on during today's Joint Finance Committee session before heading to the Assembly and Senate.
Right now, the Senate in Washington could vote on President Donald Trump's sweeping budget plan. Democrats keep trying to delay it, mostly by proposing dozens of amendments. It's still uncertain if it's going to pass. Republicans can only spare 3 votes, and some are on the fence. If it does pass, still it'll head back to the House, where it faces an uncertain fate there.
Lululemon is suing Costco for selling knockoff versions of its clothing. In a lawsuit filed Friday, Lululemon claims Costco sold unlicensed apparel. The athleisure company alleges that Costco's private label line, Kirkland, offers similar clothes at a fraction of the price. Lululemon is seeking full financial recovery and asked the court to order Costco to stop selling the products.
Wisconsin State Patrol investigating a deadly crash in Janesville. It happened near the intersection of Milton Avenue and Memorial Drive near St. Matthew's Lutheran Church yesterday morning. A garbage truck collided with a cyclist, killing the cyclist. The garbage truck driver stayed at the scene. The public is being asked to avoid that intersection, though.
New details on the Morgan Wallen concerts at Camp Randall. The University of Wisconsin police ejected dozens of fans from the stadium. On Saturday, UWPD arrested and cited 4 people and ejected 20 others. On Sunday, police arrested 9 people and ejected 12 more. Police arrested 1 man twice after attempting to re-enter the stadium following his first arrest and was taken to jail.
We're learning more about an ambush in Idaho that led to the death of 2 firefighters. Authorities are now identifying the suspect as 20-year-old Wes Rowley. The local sheriff's office says Rowley intentionally set a brush fire Sunday to lure the firefighters in and then opened fire. Officials say the gunman acted alone and shot himself.
Trash collection will be delayed for customers across the greater Madison area for the holiday. If you live in the city, trash collection will pause this Friday. The City of Madison Streets Division will not pick up recycling, brush, trash, or large items. Residents who normally have Friday collection should have their carts out by 6:30 a.m. on Monday for pickup. Drop-off sites will also be closed on Friday.
Tomorrow, the second Concerts on the Square of the season. It's a free event, of course, at the Capitol. All you got to do is bring a blanket, chair, food, or drink and enjoy the music. You can mark your spot on the lawn starting at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Music starts at 7. Tomorrow's theme is Celebrations of Liberty.
Well, temperatures will be a lot more comfortable than what we have seen. We're looking at the lower 80s, lots of sunshine. And then tomorrow, there's a slight chance for showers and storms. Some could be stronger. The better chance right now is northeastward. And then we warm back up tomorrow through the weekend. We're looking at the upper 80s near 90. And that includes the 4th of July with a slight chance for showers. I think the better chance overnight into Saturday.
All right, at least the holiday weekend's looking good.
Yes.
All right, Savannah, thank you.
Coming up next, CBS Mornings. Our next newscast is at noon.